Hello everybody, this is Patrick Gibbons, community activist in Chicago and the Chicagoland area. Hope everyone's doing well today. It's a beautiful day and I'm just taking a short walk. Yesterday I was able to bring out the media. Chicago Fox 32 came out and they did a terrific story. The residents of Montclair and Galewood don't want Section 8s in their neighborhood. And you can't blame them. Section 8 destroys a community. And I believe in the power of community. I really do. I believe in the power of people uniting and getting together for a common cause. And that's very important. Montclair and Galewood are still beautiful neighborhoods. And they were against this property development company they called Noah Properties. Noah Properties, I'll give you a brief history of them in that area. They bought a commercial building in 2016 and it was around Grand and Harlem. This commercial building had office rooms. They had nothing but office space. And they turned that building, they tore it down. They tore down the offices. And then they built beautiful apartments. This was in 2016. They bought the building around Grand and Harlem. They sold it off to the Chicago Housing Authority in 2017. Again, this building is located at 7159 West Grand Avenue to 7169 West Grand Avenue. The residents, most people didn't know that this development was sold to the Chicago Housing Authority in 2017. Grand and Harlem, when I was a kid, was a beautiful area. It was all Italian, nice people, clean area, you know. And now you see the riffraff that's coming in. And the fact is, Section 8 brings in crime in the area. I lived in Belmont-Cragen for over 40 years of my life. Over 40 years. And at one time there was no Section 8s. Now Belmont-Cragen is Section 8 haven. You have one Section 8 after another Section 8 after another Section 8. Section 8, I'm not talking about the residents. I'm talking about maybe their friends, maybe they're friends of their friends. There's loud music at night. There's gunshots that comes from these places. The police are called left and right. Drugs are coming in. A lot of these Section 8s, unbeknownst to people, are turned into whorehouses, are turned into drug houses. You see a lot of that in the 39th Ward. And the fact is, and I have people with authority that knows about it, that made police reports on it, Section 8 brings in crime in the area. And that's what separates a good neighborhood from a bad neighborhood. Good neighborhoods don't want Section 8s. It's just that simple. Anybody in their right mind don't want Section 8s in their neighborhood. Now, Chris Telefero, who became alderman because of the backing of Nick Sposato is well respected. At one time, that area, Montclair and Galewood, in particular, a lot of that area, was part of the 38th Ward. Now it's 29th. Because, you know, they remapped the areas all the time. They remapped it's like gerrymandered to the alderman's favorability. You know what I mean? So, Sposato backed Telefero. Telefero is a hardcore Democrat, okay? Not even, he's a woke Democrat. That's the fact of it, okay? And Telefero, let's not forget, 2 years ago was for a migrant shelter at 1900 Austin Avenue, 1900 North Austin. I brought out the press, I was there, I showed you guys the press conference, that people in that area, they don't want migrants coming in because you don't know where they're coming from. There's no vetting process. There's no vetting process with regards to their health. There's no health screening. And you don't know exactly what kind of record they have. You know what I mean? They could have committed a serious crime in another country, and yet these aldermen are protecting them. So even Democrats agree with me that's insane to have migrants, undocumented individuals, whatever you want to call them, in an area where they don't have a criminal background check. You know, when you rent like a nice apartment in a nice area, landlords do a background check on you. You know that, right? You can't just rent and get the place you want. They do a background check of your finances, if you have a criminal record. This is common practice, right? So why can't the nice neighborhoods do a background check on individuals that came into this country illegally, that all of a sudden, and it's true, invades the area, and aldermen are backing this up? So the alderman, Telefero, had a lot of flack from the people, because that's votes, and then all of a sudden he backs out and says, I was never for this. I was never for a migrant shelter at 1900 North Austin Avenue. He was. Just like he was for Noah Properties, this developer who has many developments within the Mount Clair, Galewood area. Another one they have, but they didn't sold it off to CHA, but they might, because Noah Properties, they look for opportunism. Whatever they can do in order to sell their properties, in order to make a buck, they'll do it. So it's not about, you know, an investment within the community. It's not community investment, okay, with Noah Properties. It's about opportunism. I want to make sure you guys know that. And another property they have is located at Harlem and 80th and Harlem, which is right by Mother Guerin and Holy Cross. And people can tell you that there's a lot of crime in that area. It used to be a very beautiful area. There's a lot of crime, there's loud music, the drugs are being sold. You can see the prostitutes out at night, right by Mother Guerin, right by Holy Cross, and it's coming from these Section 8s. It's coming from these Section 8s. And these Democrat aldermen that wants to appease everybody don't understand that there's actually conservative people, mostly in the ward, that don't want that nonsense. We don't want that nonsense. So all of a sudden he backs out, saying that I was never for Noah Properties having a development in my area, but they have done business with you before. Harlem and 80th and Harlem. So this guy's a two-face. Telefero is a classic two-face. Now he's publicly saying he's for a library. And for the last 12 years, the residents has been saying, hey, Chris, we need a library in the 29th Ward. Hey, Chris, we need a library in the 29th Ward. Now, all of a sudden, because he's getting a lot of flack from the voters, that he doesn't care about them. He only cares about personal developments and whatever he's getting from the side from these people. Because, you know, aldermen, they have to be chummy with these property guys, right? These big business owners. Who knows what's going in the background? I'm not saying there's anything crooked, but it's interesting. Noah Developments has a lot of business in the area. And all of a sudden he backs out. Now he's for a library. The 29th Ward needs a library. You need it for senior citizens. You need it for kids. Like a cooling center for senior citizens. Because temperatures can get 90, 95 degrees, 100, you know. And the 29th Ward, it's a big ward. Over 30,000 people. Because, you know, the city's broken up in different wards. There's 50 wards. There's no library. They have to go to another library that's like on Narragansett somewhere. It's far away. So for 12 years, this guy didn't have a library. Now all of a sudden he's for a library. Where was the library the last 12 years? So, ladies and gentlemen, you got to do your homework with this guy. You understand? You got to do your homework. When alderman all of a sudden wants a library, and for 12 years they wouldn't do it, there's a reason for it. This is his third term. Actually, it's going to be his 4th term coming up. He's in his 3rd term, and he was lucky, absolutely lucky, to be elected a 3rd consecutive term because it went into a runoff. And usually when it goes into a runoff, that means a lot of people don't care for you. He got 52% of the vote, an award of over 30,000 voters. So if I get like a candidate that can get on the ballot against this guy and directly show you the flaws that he's a flip-flopper, I guarantee you the conservatives of Galewood and Montclair and Austin, because there's still a few conservatives in Austin, that neighborhood, we can beat Chris Teleferro. He's a flip-flopper. He's a two-face. For years he didn't care about a library. Now he cares. He wanted a migrant shelter at 19 North Austin. It didn't work out because a lot of people was against it. And initially he wanted NOAA Properties to do a development at Armitage and Harlem Avenue. It didn't work out too well. The same NOAA Properties, they have business with the Chicago Housing Authority. And anybody with a half a brain can tell you that Section 8 properties brings in crime in the area. Norwood Park doesn't want Section 8s. Get that through your head. Okay? The Dunning area don't want Section 8s. Montclair don't want Section 8s. You understand? A lot of areas that's Sauganash, they don't want Section 8s. Are we getting the point? Edison Park don't want Section 8s. I guarantee you in Edison Park they don't want Section 8s. Are we getting the idea? And I don't care how I sound, because a lot of people agree with me. If you want your areas messed up, look at Belmont Cragen. Section 8 after Section 8 after Section 8. And it just tore the neighborhood apart. I don't even recognize my neighborhood anymore because of all the influx of drugs, gangs, and prostitutes. Prostitution, big time, in Belmont Cragen. And it comes from these Section 8s. I asked Cook County Sheriff's Police, if you want to do busts with whorehouses and drug houses, look at these Section 8s closely. You'll see a lot of it going on. And no one cares because it's an easy profit for the landlord, you know? And that's why they have Section 8s, because it's easy. Government just pays off the landlord, and almost anybody can get a Section 8. And it's not just the resident that supposedly earned the Section 8. They bring in their friends, they bring in their family members that's not supposed to live there. And maybe there should be random checks who's living in these Section 8s, okay? There's no safeguard with these Section 8s, you understand? There's no safeguard. And no one talks about it. No one talks about it because everybody's scared to be looked at as some sort of bigot. And I'm talking the truth. Everybody agrees with me that Section 8 brings in crime. There's direct studies of that. There's statistics on that. Okay? Nobody wants a Section 8. And that's why Chicago Fox 32 came out there and they knew Teleferro was an absolute liar. And they showed everybody, hey, this guy, he wanted NOAA Properties to have that development. NOAA Properties would have later sold it off 2-3 years from now as a Section 8 underneath the Galewood Montclair noses. And if people are fine with that, there's something wrong with you. Seriously. Why do you think these suburbs are nice suburbs? They're nice suburbs because they don't have Section 8s. Park Ridge is a nice suburb. But you see these suburbs now, they're getting kind of, you know, they're getting kind of messed up too because the criminal element's moving to the burbs. So that's what I want to say. Hope everyone's having a beautiful day. I was proud to get Chicago Fox 32 out there to expose this alderman that absolutely doesn't care about you. He's a two-face. I plan to get someone against him in the 29th Ward. Someone that has a conservative mindset, that cares about the people. With that, I gotta go. Take care. God bless. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Thank you. How do I shut this thing off?